Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Next Shot. This is Roger. I'm the host, and today we have a special guest with us, Carousel Sutton.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to the past couple years.
Past couple years,
Yes.
a lot has changed in my life. It's been different every year. For the past 2 years, I've been here at Premier. I've worked my way up from bartender to assistant manager, event coordinator, marketing manager. So a little bit of everything.
That's a lot of hats.
What can I say? I do love it here. And I've really grown my photography career from being here. They've introduced me to concert photography. I've got to work with their lighting director and do some lighting photography. So they've changed a lot in my career being here.
Good. So tell us a little bit about how you got started into photography.
So I have kind of two different starts in photography. Originally, whenever I got started doing photography, it was because I bought a car that I could not afford. It was the middle of 2020. I did not have a job, and I saw this Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and I said, that has to be mine. So I went, and 8 hours later, I'm driving home in it. And I'd been around the car community. I'd had some friends and people from that community that had drugged me out to car meets multiple times in the past.
Shame on them.
Yes. But it wasn't until I actually got behind the wheel of a sports vehicle that I was like, oh, wow, I have to have photos of this thing. So I borrowed a camera and started taking pictures and started taking my car to car meets and started taking pictures of those cars. And that's technically how I got started. And never really expected it to go anywhere. But here we are.
So what kind of camera did you start shooting with?
I started with a Nikon D3500. So something small, basic, simple, easy to use. I still have it. It was technically a hand-me-down.
I was going to say, was it new or used?
No, it was kind of a camera that was lent to me, but I still have it. So
Well, if they ever need it back, I guess you still have it for them to use, right?
we've exchanged custody of it a few times.
Gotcha. So that kind of leads us into why you're here. So we are actually recording at the Premiere in Hickory, and again, tell us a little bit about the venue space and some of the things. I know you've already told us what you do here, but some of the things that actually inspire you to stay here.
Yeah, well, I think just having great staff, great management. We have half of our ownership management is Josh Goodfellow, who is out of Codex Sound, which operates out of our basement.
Okay.
And so he's part of the reason that I've been introduced to concert photography and stuff. But this is his dream and his baby, and so it's just really inspiring to be around people that love what they do and love the space that they're in, and it helps all of us to love what we do and love the space that we're in. So I think mainly just the vibes of everybody. Everybody that works here really enjoys it, whether it's just being in the space in general or music. They have a passion for music, they're in a band, or they work in some sort of production. Everybody here just has a passion for what they do, and it just makes this space worth loving and being at.
Yeah. So how big is this space, if you would have to guess?
Yeah, so we are about 8,000 square feet for the upstairs. So that would just be the venue space. And we have a capacity of around 600 for shows. So we are a very intimate space. You get to be up close and personal with the artists, but you also are still getting this amazing production because we're working with Codex, who does all these big shows at Whitewater and Valentine, and they do the Beach Summer Series. So you're getting this really amazing concert experience, but also being right next to the artists that you're watching.
Yeah, that's good. I've actually had the pleasure of coming to a show. It's been a while. It was, a few years ago, but I was right here at the front of the stage shooting up at an artist and using my 10 millimeter and getting that huge kind of like perspective shot,
Yeah.
and the lighting and the sound. When I tell you guys, you have to come check out this venue space. Again, it's the Premiere in Hickory, and I'm gonna tell you, it did not let me down. I love concerts and being able to get that close to an artist. You don't see that too often in some of the venues around the Charlotte area. So coming out to the outskirts of Hickory, again, great venue. So let's go over a couple of the photos that you sent me and kind of tell us a little bit about the story behind them. So the first one, I'm assuming the Alfa Romeo shot that we have here. Tell us a little bit about what you like about that image as well.
I think I just have a special place in my heart for that image because it was technically the first photo that I ever took.
Yeah.
And it's all because of that really stupid financial decision that I'm here today. So that photo is it's the beginning of everything, and I just wouldn't be here without it. So it just holds a special place in my heart, and it was kind of the moment that I was like, maybe I'm good at this.
So do you still have the vehicle?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. So again, this is a photo of history. It's something that you've owned before, and now you've since moved on.
Yeah. If the chance ever presents itself,
Yeah.
I will get another one. But it just didn't make sense with my life at the time.
Yeah. Well, as your photography grows, so may your passion for vehicles, and you may get into stuff like that. That's going to pay you a little bit of money on the side as well. So this next shot that we have here of the orange vehicle, tell me about that one there.
Yeah. So that was such a crazy day. I was in a very interesting time in my life, and that picture is probably my most special picture that I've ever had. I was very broke.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And I was on the brink of divorce, and my life was crumbling around me. But I'd been given the opportunity to get paid for my photography, and I started working for the shop, Sunstoppers, and doing their social media and doing photos for them. And they called me and they were like, hey, like, we're gonna have this Lamborghini in the shop this day, like, come up here. I did not have the gas to get up there. But I get up there and I don't have my SD card, and I was like, oh my God.
Hey, we've been there before too.
And so I called my husband at the time, and I was like, can you please meet me? Like, so he meets me about halfway, and I go back, and I get to drive this car. I was too scared to take it out on the road. I just took it around the parking lot. But I get to drive this car that, like, it might not be a big deal to some people, but as someone who's coming into this space that never thought they'd be in this space, was a huge deal to me. And I was taking pictures of it, and that was one of the pictures that I got. And it is now framed up in the Sunstoppers, along with another one from that night, or that day. But it was just kind of like one of those moments that, and I've come across this a lot in photography, but it was one of those moments where, like, yes, the world is falling apart around you, but you're just like, wow, like, I am on the right path. Like, I am aligned with the universe, my life, and this is so special. And it just, like, doesn't matter what's happening around me because I get to be in such a special moment right now. And I found that, like, photography brings so many of those moments to you where you're just like, this is so surreal to me. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken, just because it's such a special moment, and it was a part of that start of just being here and where I'm at now and everything that led up to it.
Good. So thanks for sharing those intimate stories about your images, because our audience is full of beginner photographers and hobbyists and people that don't know, is this right for me? I don't have the money to afford the camera, the lens, the time. So that, I think that's going to inspire people to look at things a little different, because I think the way you got into photography kind of shows that you got to keep driving something that you
Yeah.
have the passion for, right?
Oh yeah. And I think like we look at photographers, whether they're beginning or they've been doing it for a long time, and you see these beautiful images, and you're like, wow, they have it made. We do not have it made.
And we don't get paid a whole lot either.
A lot of the work that we do is free, and it's just so we can grow. And a lot of the times we're broke and we don't have the gas to get where we're going. And you just, like, when you love something, you just keep pushing through, and eventually it works out.
Yeah. And getting back to some of the images that you submitted, we're going to talk about this image here. And again, I love the stories that you have behind them. So thanks again for sharing the details. So tell us a little bit about that next image there.
Yeah. So about a year after I started doing car photography, I got a little bored. I love automotive photography, and my heart always will be in that because that is my origin. But I wanted to be a little more creative. I wanted to have room to really explore the art of it all. And I decided maybe it's time to take a chance on people. So I just posted stuff in Facebook groups for people to come out. But this particular picture is of one of my close friends, and it was just one of those moments where I consider myself to be a little unconventional whenever it comes to taking photos. I don't really pose people. I'm kind of just like, hey, go over there, do something.
Is it because you're scared of posing, or just you want it to be more natural?
So my whole branding is capturing the essence of people. And I don't think I can do that whenever I'm like, hold each other's hands and stand still and put your arm around him.
You don't want to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just like to capture them in their natural element. So the way that I operate is I will kind of get an idea of what I want, but usually I let like the space speak to me. So whenever I go to a location, it's just like, okay, what am I feeling here? What are the vibes? And that was kind of the first time that I got to experience this. And I saw like this, I think it was a water tower, like a tiny water tower. And I was just like, wouldn't it be so cool if like you were like kind of looking down and I could see that behind you? And it was just like one of the first time that I really got to experience the space speaking to me. And I had this amazing friend that I went to go and do a lot of work with in the future, who really understood the assignment, and all of it just kind of like clicked. And we took some more pictures, and we ended up getting security after us because
shame on you.
We were in South End in Charlotte, and we like wandered into this building. The door was open. It apparently was a workspace. So yeah, we got a little stern talking to about that, but it was just a really great moment, and I love that picture. It's one of my favorites. All of these are one of my favorites.
Yeah, and going into the next image, I noticed that a lot of your stuff on Instagram, again, we'll have her link to the Instagram on screen, and we'll also have it in the description. But some of your stuff, how would you describe your style?
Yeah, so my style is very moody, emotional. Like I said, I like to let the space speak to me, but I also like to really show the emotions of what's going on. So I started this thing a little bit after I started shooting people. It's what I call the Scary Stories Project, and it kind of came from, it was Halloween time. It was getting towards the end of October, and I was like, I kind of want to do something Halloween themed, but I don't really know. Like, I don't want to do something cheesy. I don't really know how I want to do that. And this is kind of the actual origin story of how I started developing.
Right.
So I have had a lot of mental health struggles in my own personal life. Whenever I went through my divorce, it kind of peaked everything, and I had to hit the reset button on life. And I have been exploring what life is like with anxiety and depression and OCD, and I was kind of in the midst of that journey, and I was like, thinking about, well, that's scary. That's really scary to deal with. And I was sharing my story on my personal platform. I was giving like monthly updates about what had been going on, and I was like, what if I incorporated that into my photography? And I started sharing other people's scary stories. Because whenever I first started going through that, the only thing that got me level headed and able to push through those feelings and how scary and terrifying it was watching people's videos that were putting names to these big feelings I was feeling. And so I was like, what if I do that with my photography? So I started the Scary Stories project, and it is something that I still do today. And it's a completely free session. My only rules are you have a story, and I get full creative freedom within your comfortability. And my goal with it is to share people's stories through photos. So when you look at that photo, you don't really even have to read the story. You can feel what's going on. So this photo in particular, with this girl holding this caution tape over her eyes, is kind of my main picture when you first go into my website. And it says caution, real people, real stories, real emotions ahead, because that is everything that my photography became, growing out of that moment. And that was actually someone random off of Facebook.
Oh, okay. I thought it was somebody that you knew.
No. I just put in like this girl group in Charlotte, like, who has a story to tell? So I have a whole entire page dedicated to this on my website, where you can read these different stories of people that I've worked with. And it's just, that picture just kind of embodies everything that my brand has become now.
So with that image, did you share that with the person as well? Did they have any feedback for that?
I didn't really get any feedback, just because it was random people off of Facebook. There was really no expectations.
Right.
But it was really nice. I was with for that shoot in particular, I got to sit down with these two girls, and after the fact, what I do is I'll record their story and literally just post exactly what they say.
That's great.
And so I got to sit down with these girls after the fact and just talk about their stories and feel connected with them, and just dive into things you don't really ever get to with strangers.
Yeah. So the next image that we have here, tell me a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. So this was a part of the Scary Stories project. This one I was not off of Facebook. This one was a friend of my mother's. And she came to me and was like, hey, like, I have a story that I think that you might want to share. And this one is very kind of apocalyptic and scary, and giving these like zombie type vibes. But basically this woman's story, her name is Biz. She got a tumor, and it ended up being bone cancer, and that was a terrifying time in her life. And I have a whole entire video on my page where you can listen to her whole story. But I got to work with her, and we got to kind of go through the progression in photos of what it was like being diagnosed with cancer and experiencing something so terrifying. And so I did kind of this apocalyptic vibe, because that's what it feels like whenever you're given such big news in your life, whether it's some sort of loss or something that you're experiencing, in her case cancer. It feels like the world is ending.
Oh yeah.
And we got to work with the cast that she used. I think it was during her MRIs or something. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a couple years, but I really enjoyed like having that as kind of a prop, so we really could display like how it felt whenever she was going through that. And she is kind of cancer-free now, but she won't be officially deemed cancer-free until 10 years after her last treatment.
Oh, wow.
And I think the video said she had to go through 37 treatments before she could continue on with life. And it took about 3 months. But yeah, she won't be deemed cancer-free until the tumor is hasn't grown for 10 years.
Wow.
So that was a lot for her to go through.
Yeah, and sharing those stories, a lot of these people are not prepared for the road ahead, and surprises will definitely open your eyes.
Yeah, I think we all say it wouldn't be me, and then one day it is.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, Carousel. So thanks again for being on the show and sharing these stories behind your images, because, a lot of photographers will go out and not really have a purpose for an image. So I think this Scary Stories project, is that what you call it?
Yes.
I think something like that is a purpose, and it can definitely relate to a lot of people, and sharing their stories. That I think that's really good. So again, we're going to have her information below, and we're also going to pop it up on the screen as well. So let's get into the next image that we have. So kind of tell us a little bit about what you were doing there.
Yeah. So this was kind of my first wedding. Not really. This was my first wedding for strangers.
Gotcha.
Early in the year, I'd had a very close friend ask me to do her wedding, and I was kind of like, I don't really know about that. I vowed to myself when I started I would not do weddings, that there was way too much expectation, and it was just, you're there for 8 hours, and it's so much.
The 20 hours of editing afterwards.
There are thousands of photos. I was just like, I'm not going to do this. And then my friend asked, and I was like, for you, anything. And then later on in the year, after I did that wedding, I got my first wedding inquiry. And I was like, how did you find out that I do photos? So I ended up working with this couple. And I got to really fall in love with doing weddings. And after the wedding, they went on this walk, and it ended up being like a hike. If I would have known.
Yeah, sometimes that nice place over there is half a mile away.
Yeah. And it had just rained, so it was like wet. But they walked over to this space, and this ended up being the space that Ryan, the guy, proposed. And it was just a really special moment being a part of this, being able to watch them go back to that space. And it really made me fall in love with weddings, to see how it was with somebody that I knew. I'm being like, oh, I'm so happy for my friend, but then being around people that I don't know and being like, wow, like, you guys are made for each other. This was one of those couples that, like, you see them and you're like, oh, yeah, this is
perfect couple.
You guys are not breaking up with each other. They did their wedding in their backyard, and it was just small, and it was relaxed, and they had, just their family and close friends there, and it wasn't super serious. It was, because it was a wedding, but it wasn't like, a very expensive wedding where everything's strict and on a timeline. And it was just so special to be a part of this day and to watch these people that you can tell are just so in love with each other. And I remember just like sitting there and being like, wow, like, this is so magical to be a part of, and it's so special to be someone on the outside looking in on these people who are sharing their love with you, right, and they don't even know you, and trusting you to capture that. And it ended up actually showing me what kind of weddings I wanted to do. I started marketing for weddings after that. I was like, yes, this is it. But my wedding brand kind of turned into, like, I don't even really know how to describe it. Like, backyard, barefoot, would prefer to have a beer than, like, a structured timeline.
I'm just wondering how you titled that on your website.
Yeah, we're still working on it. Because how do I say, couples who don't actually care.
Yeah, laid back.
Yeah.
No stress.
But it was just so much fun, and it gives you so much hope, and it just made me so happy to be a part of something that like reminds you to keep going, like, because there is love in this world.
There is. I've done a ton of weddings. When I say a ton, I'm probably in the hundreds, and I would probably say 10 to 15 of those weddings were with film. So you can imagine the stress as a
Yeah.
photographer trying to capture that, and then relying on Walmart Photo Lab or CVS to, pretty much convert that into a nice image for you. And I've been lucky to have really good couples in just about all of my weddings.
Yeah.
So, I've had some that were high stress, and I've had
Yeah.
some that were really laid back. So
Yeah. This was definitely one of those, like, I am not the type of person who really tries to sell myself to everybody. And this was definitely one of those moments they say, like, the right people will find you. And me being like, how did you find me? Like, since that to now, like, it's just the right people find you. I don't know how, but these backyard barefoot people keep finding me.
that's it.
And they really will.
Without
They'll
advertising
find
it
you.
like
Yeah.
that. So I'm glad you're converted, but again, not wanting to do weddings and then doing weddings that you specifically want to do. I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to a wedding where you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you're high stress, and a lot of photographers do that. They'll take whatever weddings come to them. It's okay to say no if it's not the right fit. So,
Yeah.
that's why I think the talks before the wedding kind of help eliminate some of that
Yeah.
for you.
You should never sell yourself for the money. It has to vibe with you before, like, I'd never take anything that just doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, I'm like, hey, maybe this person, this photographer that I know, that might be your vibe more than me.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, so switching it up from doing the weddings, let's talk about this next image that we have here.
So this one is kind of just a random image that I got. But this one's really special to me because it has two very important people in my journey in it. So I'm a part of this group called Outsiders, and the main one is based out of Asheville, I'm pretty sure, but we kind of had a little branch off of it in Hickory. And it's basically just photographers come together, they share their knowledge, we just chat. We've gone and supported what is it? The Newton Conover New Art Center that they opened up. We hang out pretty much, just help each other. We do photo shoots together. And so this was actually, I don't know if you know Asia White Photo. She was formerly Fur and Lace. But she has a studio in Lenore. It's Fur and Lace Studio.
Okay.
And she invited us out right after it opened to just come and shoot, get some headshots if we wanted to, hang out, and just use the space for free. And that was kind of one of our meetings for the month. So we went there, and we're all just documenting each other. And I got this picture of her. That's Asia holding the camera, and then Nick is the one who she's taking a photo of, and I got this picture of them. And it's a special photo because Asia, who's in the photo, I consider kind of my mentor. Her camera is what I use now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And she's just always been the person who I've gone to for help with anything. She's helped me with my website. She's helped me through Outsiders community. I've known her 10, 11, 12 years now. She's known me since I was doing beauty pageants and watched me. She did my engagement photos whenever I was engaged. And so she's just always been there to help me out through everything and like kind of following in her footsteps in photography. She was the first person that I really started to base my work after, and watching her be moody, and she does documentary style photography. I draw a lot of inspiration for her work. And then Nick, every photographer needs their own photographer, and that's my photographer.
This is true. Yes, they do.
I love her work. She started working with film, and she's kind of transitioning into black and white film only, and being a black and white film photographer. And her work is just so good. Um, it's she got pictures of me, and I hate being in front of the camera. And I was looking at those, and I was like, I don't even know how to describe how she captured that, but I was just looking at them, and I was like, wow, like I feel so like beautiful, and like she's so good. So that picture was just really special to me because I think it shows that there is so much space in this community, and there is no reason to do anything but share your knowledge and lift each other up and help each other and support each other. And like I have recommended Nick to people, and I've recommended Asia to people, and like that's not taking away from me at all.
Right.
And you know, they're sharing their knowledge with me, and we're all working together to build up each other. And I just think that picture was just such a great way of showing the community of the space.
Yeah. And also, we'll put their information down if that's okay.
Yeah.
So we can share some of their work and maybe drive some traffic their way. And it's great that you have people in your life that, for one, that don't mind mentoring.
Yeah.
Because the photographers sometimes, as you know, some of them don't like to share things, and we've talked about that a lot in some of our other podcasts. But it's good to have a mentor. But you got to remember, passing it on and maybe finding a mentee for yourself, somebody that you can train once you get more comfortable, and just passing that knowledge along. And something that, a lot of new photographers are looking for. It's just guidance. I mean, YouTube's good, but having somebody that can call you up and say, hey, do you want to go take pictures, or can you show me how to do this, or my camera's messing up.
Yeah.
Have you had this experience before and fixing things? I think that's where the mentorship comes in, and getting you comfortable with doing things outside your box as well. So leading into the next image that we have here, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So this past year, I have dipped my toes into band photography, lighting photography, and concert photography. And this is the girl that I actually did her first wedding. She was my first wedding. I met her doing beauty pageants when we were like 17-ish, 16, 17.
So y'all were doing them together?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And we just kind of kept in touch a little bit throughout those years. And in our adult years, really connected. And she took a chance on me before I'd ever shot with a band, before I'd ever done a wedding. She's always been the person to take a chance on some new thing for me whenever it comes to my photography. And so she called me, and she was in this phase of her life where she's starting a band, and she wanted some photos for them to share. So I got to go up and capture their band, and it's Madame Spectre and the Grave Robbers.
Gotcha. And we'll try to put that up on the screen as well. Now, do they have a website or?
I don't think they have a website,
Okay.
just a Facebook page.
We'll
But
definitely put that on there.
yeah, they're based out of Winston area.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
I got to go up there, and I got to capture her band, and being the Grave Robbers, we did it in a graveyard, and they wanted something really like spooky and eerie, and so I was just able to capture this new phase in her life. And it was so, just looking back at it whenever I was editing it, it was just such a beautiful moment for me, because I've captured her divorce, her engagement, her wedding, in that order.
Gotcha.
And now I'm capturing this new version of her as the leader of this band. And it was just such an amazing moment. We've done so much work together to just watch somebody who's put their faith in me grow and evolve, and how the work that I've done with her has gone from very like light and hippie and airy, and to now being like so much more her, and so much more like dark and grungy, and just like watching her grow into a person as these photos are evolving with her. it was just such a great moment, and all the work that I've done with her is just so special.
And I noticed your choice in black and white on that, and that kind of falls into your dark and moody that you wanted to go for the band vibe.
Yeah, I chose that one in particular just because it was just so eerie, and it really captured like what she was going for with her vibes with her band.
Right. So have you shot any like covers for her, like anything that like images that they use for promotions, or is that kind of like in the works?
Well, that's kind of what that was.
Okay.
So those were all their like introducing their band images. Since then, I've gone and I've shot their band performing twice now. So hopefully there'll be some more work with them in the future.
Good. So leading into the bands, this next image here.
Yes.
Yes. I love lights. Lights and stages are just amazing, right?
They are. I did not think that I was going to like it, but that doing lights has like it has given me some of the best work that I've ever like. I look at them and I'm like, wow, like those are so cool.
Well, let's just give credit where credit's due. It's not just the lights; it's the smoke.
Yeah,
the smoke makes the lights look so much better, right?
Yeah, and I am very lucky to be where I'm at at the premiere and being able to go around with Codex and work with them. So this was at the Morganton Festival, and this was a really special event for me to be shooting because I used to work right down the street. I used to waitress right down the street, and I remember like so many days, like every single year whenever the Morganton Festival would come around, I would just be like sitting behind the fence outside serving, just like wish I could go to that.
I wish I could be there.
And then to be handed a pass and be like, go ahead, do it. And being able to shoot that was just such a like, wow, like look at us on the other side of the fence moment. And like I said, one of those moments that photography just brings to you where you're like, look at me, like how did I get here? This is not any direction that I ever imagined. So that was the Chapel Heart Band, and the lights that night were just like, if I could share every single one of them, I would send you every single one of them. The lights, the band, like everything was just so perfect. And like I said, I'm very grateful for Codex and their amazing team. And they do such a great job with lighting and sound. And they give me, like, I'm a good photographer, but they give me a lot to work with.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just one of those like moments where I was like, wow. And then I looked back through it and I was like, oh my God, like these might be some of the best images I've ever gotten.
Now, did you also share that with Chapel Heart?
Yes, I did. But they said something about how they're not actually like a band anymore. So it was just
okay. Great image, but hey, here's the update.
Yeah, on stage they're like kind of like, we're here, but we're not.
Yeah. And that's the story with a lot of bands, especially smaller bands, that life gets in the way and life changes.
Yeah.
So, and I think this may be our last image that we have here on the screen. So tell me a little bit more about that image and why it's special to you.
Yeah, so this was the LA Gun Show that we had at premiere at the beginning of the month. And I wear a lot of hats. So while I am marketing manager and I'm posting all the social media throughout the show and getting all those photos, I'm also bartending.
Wherever you're needed, right?
Yeah. Would I have it any other way? No. I enjoy running around throughout the shift, but working the bar and then running over here and then working the bar and then running over here makes it difficult to capture every single amazing moment. And this was just one of those moments where the crowd was in it, the band was in it, and you know, I really struggle with doing concert photography because there's so much happening and every single moment is different and every single moment is special, and I'm like, you cannot capture everything.
You try your best.
So this was just one of those moments where the band is giving us something and the crowd is loving it and you're in the perfect position and you just get that moment and you're like, yes, and then you run back to the bar. Um, but yeah, it was just so special because I was here in my, I guess, home stage.
Right.
And
You wasn't a visitor at another
yeah.
venue. You had full range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and here I can step back there. I haven't hopped on stage yet, but I'm not opposed to it.
Right.
And it was just it was a special moment because I'm here with our team at our show, and I get to show how amazing it is to be here and what it's like to be at a show here, and just to be able to capture like I don't know anything about LA Guns. I'm not gonna lie, but that I'm too young. But to be able to capture something that is so special to people is special to me because those like I never would have thought that I'd be capturing LA Guns.
Right.
Like I never thought that I'd be capturing photos here at all, and so it was just another one of those moments that's just like, wow, look at where I'm at, and like everything has just aligned so perfectly for me to be right here in this moment.
That's great. All right, so this comes a time where we just have a couple questions for you, and it's just for our audience to kind of get to know you a little bit better. So, other than your mentor, do you have somebody else that inspires you to keep doing your photography and being creative? Now, it can be YouTube. It can be somebody that doesn't directly, like not a close friend. Do you
My
have somebody?
therapist.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think we've all been through that.
I think honestly, maybe not even like somebody special, but just everything that led up to it, going through divorce and mental health issues, and all of that led me to really take photography seriously is kind of the thing that keeps me going because I like those moments that every single photo has where it's like, oh my gosh, look at where I'm at now. Like, I feel like I owe it to that person who was taking the steps to step outside of life and try to give her that and continue to push to be more and have more of those moments and meet more people and continue to grow.
Good. So, speaking of continuing to grow, where do you see yourself taking your photography in the next year or two?
I don't know.
I mean, is there anything that you haven't shot that maybe not toward the project side that you've been working on, but something like, some people like to say, I've never shot real estate. I'd like to try that. Or I've never done anything at the beach, maybe try some family portraits. What do you think?
I wouldn't be opposed to touring with a band.
Okay. A groupie, roadie,
Yeah, something.
production.
Whoever wants me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to like touring with the band. I like being our kind of house photographer here, but I definitely want to expand eventually, and maybe get to shoot some bigger names and work up close with some more well-known bands and step out from behind the bar and maybe shift all of my focus towards just photography.
Right. And I know being here at the premiere kind of ties you down a lot with all the events going on, but do you like to do like traveling outside of like when you're on vacation and stuff? Do you like to travel and do pictures that way?
I actually never bring my gear with me whenever I travel.
Shame on you.
I know. Because then you come across a moment and you're like, "Oh, if only I had my camera." Yeah, I don't really travel. I mean, I travel for shoots that I have, but I don't actually travel with my gear.
Well, that's good to know. Let's see. What about? I guess the last question we'll get into is: since you work with a lot of bands and you do a lot of stuff, you were talking about telling stories. Have you ever thought about getting into the videography side of things, or is that not something you're interested in?
I don't think that's in the cards for me. I think I really like the art of a still image and being able to say so much with something so flat. And I think that you were either born with an eye for it and you can learn all day long, but if you weren't born with the eye, it won't hit the same way. And I was not born with an eye for video. Now I do have to do videos for here.
Right. Right.
But I have considered and dabbled a little bit way back when, but it is not my passion. It's not in my heart, and my eyes just don't get it the way that some people do.
It's not for everybody. And
Yeah.
and plus, I will say, since we've started doing video through my company, Unlimited Photography, we've also learned a lot of stuff along the way, how video editing can be easier
Yeah.
the more you learn the shortcuts, same as when you're editing photos, presets,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, it's not for everybody, I will say. So again, we want to thank the Premiere here in Hickory for hosting our photo and video show podcast. And we also want to thank Carousel for being our guest on the show. And if you would kind of tell the folks out there where they can see some of your work and how to get in touch with you.
Yes. So Instagram, Facebook, Carousel K Photography, Carousel.
There you go.
K Photography. And then my website is just carouselkphotography.com. I am Carousel K Photography everywhere.
All right, very good. And again, we'll have that on the screen for you, and we'll also put it in the description below. And Carousel, thank you again for being our guest here today. And until next time, guys, keep shooting.